All right. Hey guys, this is a Riff Table Arcade. Is that what we agreed on, Jeff?
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another Riff table.
Well, anyways, I'm FighterXaos, and my fellow game riffer here is,
16-bit Jeff.
and we have two guests because Double R doesn't really play Persona, and that's what this is about. So, anyways, introduce yourselves, guys.
It's Dolo from Gundam and MHQ.net.
And it's Xavier from the CardCast.
Which isn't dead. Well, it might be.
It's
dead.
not dead,
It's
but we
not-
don't know what the hell's going on.
Well,
that's-
it's just sitting there twitching. We just need to put it back in the Lazarus pit.
Yeah, there
Then
you go.
we'll do-
There you go. Hopefully, it won't pull a Jason Todd on us.
Ooh.
yeah, and then run off screaming into the night.
Wonder what's going on here. You've been attacked by the Ikari Cats. It's just like the Ikari Cat's crazy zombie.
Yep.
Well, what were we?
Persona 5.
Persona 5. This debuted when? February 5th. They Atlas showed a new trailer, gameplay trailer after, I forgot what the event was called. Persona.
It was a Persona event. They have it like practically every year now. So
The
Yeah,
Persona Con. That's not what it's called, but it might as well just be, right?
pretty much.
well, it was a whole stream dedicated to Persona 5 or Persona in general. They did one last year or the year before. So in any case, go ahead, Jerry. I'm interrupting
Hey,
you.
no, I'm gonna go back to you anyway, since you're the one on a time limit here. Now, what we know about the game, I'm gonna get the facts out of the way. Jeff,
Yo.
you were with me on these facts. Just, I just want you to shoot some of these with me, or just go, mm-hmm. Anyways, now the first thing I noticed is their names, the
Yeah.
characters' names. Now, from what we found out is the cat character is an actual cat. It turns into like a chibi, super deformed anthropomorphic cat that looks like it's ready to sell out plush toys everywhere,
Oh, of course.
especially at cons.
Because
Just like Teddy.
Just
as
like
our
Teddy.
buddy, it's like our buddy Easy likes to say, because toy sales will go through the roof.
Yep. And that toy selling cat is named Morgana, a female cat, and looks like it can shapeshift. And in the trailer, they showed for that cat that there's going to be the 7 deadly sins. I don't know if the most likely only associated with her. Maybe it's like a power-up dealie she has.
Right.
The other characters are called the Blonde Rize. That's what I'm calling her now, Blonde Rize. The girl with the blonde pigtails. Her actual name is Anne Takamaki. Now, before they thought it was going to be Anzu, because the kanji for her name can be read An or Anzu. But I
Yeah.
believe it's just been clarified that it's in fact An
Okay.
or Anne, Anne, Takamaki. And the blonde guy who looks a lot like Naruto.
I know.
I mean, a lot like Naruto. He looks like grown-up Naruto with a shirt that says ZOMG. His name is Ryuki Sakamoto, and those two also seem to have a motif when they fight in dungeons. The blonde girl's wearing like a Catwoman dominatrix outfit, and the blonde
Yep.
guy is wearing like a Kamen Rider Skull outfit. And then there's the main character, who of course never has an official name until later, because you can name him what you want. But his persona has been named, and it's named Arson.
I wonder why.
Yes, that's spelled Arsene. Now you really can't get what I'm saying off, unless you never seen Lupin the Third.
Exactly. Which, this whole thing of them saying that he's not a thief, yeah, that's a red herring. He's a thief.
I know, right?
I mean, looks like a freaking almost like a raccoon. So yeah, that looks like a thief mask almost.
It's like if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck.
In
It
quest,
must be a moose.
it is a duck.
I thought it was a moose.
Moosin.
Could be mistaken for a geese, like Geese Howard.
Yep.
Geese.
But yeah.
What were the other little tidbits I have there, Jeff?
Oh yeah, instead of shadows like in the last two entries, we're going back to the enemies being that of demons, like how it has been in Persona 1 and 2.
So
Yeah, this looks like, and it's also looks like now this is a little weird. We haven't had official confirmation yet, but it sounds like they're getting rid of social links for something new called corroboration. Is that right?
Yep.
yeah, I think they did mention that in one of the information. I think that came out of Famitsu. I want to say
It is. It's Famitsu.
Okay.
And it translated. They say here's the translated guy. There's a guy named Pepsi Man GB, and it says here from what it says in Famitsu, cooperation. Where the frack are you? The magazine Famitsu speculates that cooperation menu is replacing social links involving getting closer to allies. So speculation time. If I want to do that now.
Sounds like I can't hook up with no females.
I feel like you still will.
You can,
I
but
hope
it's
so.
going to be different. And if this is the case, it sounds like a better, more streamlined approach than what was.
Sounds like
the
more
social link.
streamlined, because what I'm thinking of, instead of just speculation, of course, I may be dead wrong.
Yeah.
It sounds like instead of one by one, it's instead going by how you fit with the whole team. Like before, you had that that automatically leveled up as you went through the story, but you still had to do the individual ones.
Like there were some stupid requirements that you needed in regards to having some specific social links. Yeah.
So this time it seems like it's more focused on just the team, and not having to go through the.
Which is better suited. You know what I mean?
It's more streamlined. I'm not complaining as long as you get to choose. Maybe you don't get to choose. Maybe it's just a Rize looking girl.
Who knows?
I doubt it though, because in 3 and 4 you could date characters that weren't in your party. So,
I mean, to be fair, we won't find out more until
Exactly.
like around E3 time or even TGS.
Mm-hmm.
I think TGS is a better bet, but yes, unless it's.
Yep.
But then again, I don't know. We still don't necessarily know when the game is supposed to come out.
We just know it's coming out
is.
this year, apparently.
Yeah, that's all we know. I mean, for me, that basically it could mean like December, because that's usually how these things go.
Yep.
All right. What else did I have here? I had seems to take place in Tokyo.
Yep.
Instead of if not Tokyo, then obviously based on Tokyo, because
It's a major metropolitan city. That's
Exactly.
it looks like Shibuya. If you've ever been,
I was saying the same thing.
Shibuya.
so
I would take a better guess at
could
Shinjuku.
It could be just big city Japan.
Yeah, it's just basically insert big metropolitan
But
Japanese.
some things
center.
look specifically Tokyo to me.
Now, correct me if I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, don't. Usually, I haven't played every Persona game, but from what I know of, like most of the Persona games at least take place in like some city that actually exists in Japan of some kind, because Iniba in Persona 4 was a real place for the most part.
They're fake names, but they're obviously based off of real towns. They even said which towns. I forgot. Like there is an Inaba prefecture. There's no actual Inaba town, but there is a town that is Inaba, basically down to how they designed it. Same thing with Iwatodai in 3, I believe.
Yeah. My question regards to the Persona games, including 5. I know that 4 was based in a rural town, obviously, but with all of them, have they all been rural towns, locations, or
1 was a
No.
city, 2 was a city, 3 was
Persona.
a city.
Yeah, basically. Persona 4 is kind of like the.
The black sheep almost. In
Well,
that
I
way.
I wouldn't go so far as to say a black sheep, because that
the
was
odd one
word
out,
that-
basically?
Odd
That's
one
what
out.
4
Yes.
was. Yeah, okay.
It took the words out of my mouth. The odd one out.
Okay, so it sounds like so far this game is sort of going back to its roots.
Well, especially with the demons part, more going.
I'm not going far off from saying that, right?
It seems to not only go back to Persona roots, it seems to go back to Shin Megami Tensei.
Shin Megami Tensei, yeah. Which is the main series.
The final bits and pieces I have here, then I'll just go to Dalo. Turn-based, even though there's some actiony parts where we did see he could jump off of chandeliers and
I think
using
that's
his
just
Persona as stealth.
I think that's part of the dungeon. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not.
I just think
the
it's
combat's
light,
not going to be like that.
Yeah, I think it's just light platforming.
The combat's
like
still
that.
going to be typical turn-based. The game, I believe he's the game director, Hashino.
Yeah.
He's the dude in charge.
I think it was confirmed when we saw the first trailer that he was in fact the director for this game.
He's saying, why are they different designs instead of shadows? He's staying quiet, rather. Why?
Yeah.
They're, like I said, they're demons instead of shadows, or they're different designs. Some dungeons have randomly generated parts, but some won't. Where the story is gonna advance, it won't. Unlike in 3. No, well, some of the major floors, right? They stayed the same, right?
Yeah.
In 3, Tartarus, it was like randomly generated. Then a boss, it was stood the same.
Yeah.
The anime tour, I almost slurred that word. The anime people, the studio behind the anime scenes is Production IG.
Yeah. So the guys doing the production of the anime cutscenes itself is going to be Production IG. I'm cool with that.
And finally, one part of the storyline is where he looks like in the beginning, where he's looking all calm and just a nerdy boy, is a giant ruse to throw people off his true nature. And that's all the tidbits I have.
Yeah.
Dalo, since you're the one who has to go ahead.
Overall, I'll be upfront. When I first saw the trailer, I just said, like, I'm not as hyped as I thought I would be. Part of that is because, like, it's obviously based on the Catherine engine, which is basically an engine that they basically had since, like, 2010, basically, when Catherine came out. And I'm actually one of the people that hated Catherine when I played it, so to the point that I never finished it. So, I'm still looking at it currently right now as we talk. So it's like, that being said, I'm actually not really big on the look. I mean, it's a Persona game, no less, but I'm actually not. I don't like the look of the main character, nor do I care about the look of the other characters on top of it. So overall, like to me, like the trailer really didn't give me too much to work with, or it wasn't like. What's the thing that they always say in like in video game trailers? The trailer is not indicative of the game that's in development. So
yeah.
So to me, like, I didn't get like that much of a feel for it because it's still
a process.
It's still smoke and mirrors to me. So
yeah.
But I did like the idea that they're putting in like light platforming stuff. So I thought that might be interesting. So. That's my my initial thoughts to the trailer, so I'll pass it back to Jerry.
Cool.
All right. I got some now X, I'll let you go. What do you think? Even speculation, or just what you think?
Well, I think it looks, for right now, I gotta say it looks kind of okay. Because the main character, he did kind of put me off. Like, wow, that's he looks like just a nerd type, like something that would run and hide. But yeah, then the trailer showed up, so
it doesn't help that there's a Japanese meme running around out there that stating that he kind of looks like Harry Potter.
Yeah,
yes!
that too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yes,
that too. That's what I got to. I was like, something like Harry. But yeah, I'm going on the wait and see because hopefully it does come out in the U.S.
It is.
Oh,
it's been confirmed.
Simultaneous.
It's been confirmed like a couple times, and
okay.
That's why they're even making a PS4 version. So,
really, I thought it was going to be PS3 only. Yeah.
It's PS4.
Nope, it was, but now it's PS4 too because they know on the West PS4s are more likely
Yeah, that's which I'm kind of grateful for, because if I ever was to play it, I have since I got my PS4, I've just gotten to a point where it's like I don't really feel like paying full retail price for a game on PS3 anymore. I'm kind of like just like there's only one game where it seems like I'm gonna have to do that, but like at the same time, if Persona 5 was only PS3, I would probably say like I'll play it, but it won't be immediate. So, but yeah, it is on PS4. But it's only on PS4 so far, I think, in America and the West. I don't know if that's indicative of Japan too, because they haven't said much about that. That's my main thing, which is like there's still a lot of information that isn't available to us.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, I'm sorry. Let's go back to you.
Oh, no problem. That's just waiting. We just have to wait and see. So more information until either E3 or Tokyo Game Show. Probably Tokyo Game Show.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff.
What we've seen so far, especially with this first big reveal, I like it to a degree. I'm glad that going back to the roots of this particular spinoff series to some degree, like with going it back more of a demonic look in regards to the enemies. I'm liking that. I do like that to see that the main character, the protagonist himself, does use this as a ruse, and he's more of the opposite. My only gripe with this, and I don't know if you guys feel this too, but I am getting sick and tired of seeing this particular series, not only this particular series, but most RPGs set it in a high school setting. I was really hoping that they were going to change it in some regards to Persona 5. Like, hey, can we just have it based in a college or a university for once? You know, change the demographic more to a degree. You know what I mean?
Well, we have to remember that we are technically still not the main demographic. We just happen to be adults. Their
true.
Their main demographic is still
Mid-teens.
Mid-teens, and they're in high school. And I honestly think that's a little. I get where other people are coming from, but at the same time, it's like, you know, there's you can't really push it too far in terms of that regard. And I honestly don't think it would be that interesting to be in a college setting than anything. We just think so because we're adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if Mario had a story. Like, would it really benefit if it had a story?
No, I definitely get where you're coming from, and to me, it's just it's like a small nitpick, but it's at the same time, it is an annoyance to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand.
But yeah, those basically my thoughts.
I've seen other people make that what's the word I'm searching for? That request or lamentation, I guess is the proper word.
Yeah.
Lamentation.
What's not the big words?
But yeah, like I'm interested. I'm interested to hear more about the game, but I'm not really that hype as other people are at the moment. You know what I mean? And to bring up something that Dalla brought up, it's kind of funny because how he feels about this particular game using the Catherine engine, which is like what a engine that's turning 5 years old this year.
At least.
It's the same way I feel about Bethesda using a Gamebryo / creation engine for both Fallout and Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
So but I can understand where he's coming from in that regard. You know what I mean?
Well, my main problem is when I first played Catherine, I honestly didn't like the look of it. So and I understand that, well, it's kind of hard to build an engine, but it's not indicative of the game, but graphically it's like the thing is that the game was sensationalizing the visuals, and I'm like, the fact that it looks like Catherine doesn't make it doesn't excite me, just because of the fact, well, Catherine really wasn't that good of a good looking game. Even its art design was kind of meh.
Right.
And I understand a lot of people will say, like, well, they're still using the same artist stuff from like Persona 4, but Persona 4 ran on a completely different engine, and that's a whole nother thing in itself. So
Not that, but entirely different generation of console too.
yeah, that's also the other thing too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, overall, like my reaction to the trailer is that it looks like a Persona game. It looks like it's gonna be a good Persona game. But I'm that minority that I'm definitely gonna play it, but I'm not excited as most people were when the trailer launched. You know what I mean? It's like it looks cool, but yeah.
Like when Persona 5 was announced, I was like, it's on PS3, like, and I there was nothing to be said at that time, so it's like, well, there's nothing to talk about at that point because it's just like, yeah, it's a thing, so it's like whatever. We'll get around to it. And then when the trailer was revealed, I wasn't really that excited. I do applaud them for putting it on PS4 because at this point, like I said, like if I was ever play it, I'm more likely to play it now that it's on PS4. Although I highly doubt it's going to be touched up for the PS4. It's probably just going to be on res. So
yeah.
But at the very least, hopefully they'll just optimize it because it's been the word of this early generation, that have been saying like people need to optimize. I won't say who or who.
Right.
You know who you are.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but sorry.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. But that's my overall thoughts of the trailer. It's like it looks good. It looks good for a Persona game, but I am really not that hype as most other fans of the franchise I've seen in regards to social media, especially on Tumblr.
Ironically enough, I've noticed a little bit with people is that it seems like non-Persona fans are more excited for it. Even people who don't have a PS3. So
maybe because all their friends kept talking about it, like, I finally get to try it.
It's a high possibility, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Like some streams I go to, like Sorbo's streams as from Gundam. I noticed some people actually saying they're really excited for this game, and they haven't even played a Persona game. So it's like, well, it's touching on a core, which is, I think it's important for the series. It's getting new people to want to play it. So it's growing its user base, to say the least.
I wonder if the fighting game had anything to do with that.
Maybe.
Because I know for me, I didn't care about Persona at all until I played the fighting game, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll try this. Also, too, you guys said you were done. On my end, I agree with the character designs. They're not standing out to me like in any. They look like characters I've seen before. The pigtail girl, I called her Blonde Rize, but she also looks like a character from the first Persona game. Or was it the second? Where there was a blonde pigtail girl.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think it's one of those two. One of the first two. And the
basically
dude
from
looks
the
like
earlier
Harry Potter.
entries.
Yeah, from the the dude looks like Harry Potter, and the blonde boy looks like friggin' Naruto.
Yeah. And the cat, honestly, kind of and this is me, but I had huge Bleach flashbacks of Mr. Yorinichi. So, but that's just. But I'm the only one. But I also know that, like, that's just me. Like,
the cat to me just looks like a plush toy I want because it's cute. But
yeah,
I noticed the last 3 Persona games had like or mainline some type of animal mascot of some kind.
Yep.
A dog, a bear.
No,
a stuffed bear, and now a cat.
I wonder who the 5th character is.
I don't know. I really don't know. Like and I'm glad that there's apparently going to be a 5th character, simply because my main worry about from the trailer. This is just me, kind of just being a little critical, but I'm hoping that we at least have. At least like almost as many characters as Persona 4, because like the way how the trailer,
and I'm like, uh-oh.
The way they're framing out the trailer was like, is this all the characters we have to control? That's kind of boring.
That's another thing. That's another fear of mine. I had the exact same thought in my head. I'm like, is it just these 4? Like, hope not. Like, that's exactly. It'd be boring if so. Like, you're supposed to have like what, at least a few of the Arcana represented that can do this and that. That's their shtick usually.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I can understand completely why they don't do it, because creating a character model isn't easy. But if you're doing a game on this ambition, you surely can spare a character here and there.
It's like, it doesn't have to be huge, but at the same time, this is an RPG famous for its character. Like, you have to know so many.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of like that's the point. And yet you're going to take away the point? Like,
Yeah, and we also don't know how the social link system is going
Yeah,
to
that's
work.
true.
So
like I said, there's only speculation on that.
Mm-hmm.
From a trailer, they didn't give us much on.
Oh, I forgot about the menus.
oh yeah, the menu.
It not just that, but the part where you go in the shops.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is going back to its Persona 2 roots. A couple of people pointed us on. I just remember now. There's one part where you go into the weapons shop. You see that guy that kind of looks like Snake. Well, at least to me it does. And you see a big... When you click one thing, it goes and changes, and then you see another menu in that menu. And in big, bold letters, you see Joker. Which is a shout-out to Part 2. Persona 2. I wonder where that's going to lead to.
God only knows. Like, again, we're working with, like, despite the fact that I feel like they talked about it a lot and said a lot of stuff, yet it's still like they haven't really told us much in a sense.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And there's also I just want to get to gameplay now and just let's speculate about that. Okay, so the dungeons some are procedurally generated, some are not. Is like, I wonder how the stealth's gonna work. Do you have to do that all the time, or is it just for the story parts? Do their personas actually ever come out, or is it like Digimon? I forgot which one, where they actually become their persona. Because it also seemed like instead of summoning them, it became one with him or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's Digimon Frontier. It's kind of a Sentai-ish kind of way. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that if that's the case. It seems like they're not. There's, like you said, it's very much different. So they're probably just going to amplify like you become the persona as opposed to you controlling the persona.
There's also, because it seems like they're doing that to use superhuman abilities. Because like he's jumping around and stuff. Like, how can he do that? Oh, okay. He's using the persona as like a Super Sentai or something. It's morphin time and then personas.
Yeah.
How silly is that? And the stealth, I wonder if the stealth's even a big part of it, or if it's just like this one scene from this trailer was the only stealth you saw. Ah.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. But
oh, right, and the weapons. That was the last thing I remember from the gameplay. Now, instead of like 3 and 4, where 3, the only guns weren't even guns, they were just there to summon your persona. What are evokers? What they're called?
Yeah, I think that's what they were called.
And then 4, because in 3 it was like arrows, swords, and knives, and Akihiko used his fists. And then 4 you had like whatever was like a table or a chair for kanji. Naoto used a gun.
Yeah.
And everyone else just used different weapons.
So
Naoto was a detective. But in this game, it seems everybody has some sort of firearm, everybody has some sort of blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder, does that mean that's what they meant by darker? Like, oh, they're using real weapons that you kill with. Ooh.
It's not really that dark when you think about it.
No, I didn't say it was. I said that their way.
No, I'm saying if that's what they're thinking, then yeah, no, it's not.
I don't know. It seems like, again, we're shooting in the dark here, so like I feel like there's only so much we can say. I think like if it could be darker in the sense like if you're like you're using swords, but rather than fighting demons necessarily, you're also killing off humans. I think that in itself could be a lot darker because up until now, I
It
can't
was
really
only
think.
shadows. Yeah, you didn't really fight other people.
Yep.
Not even in 1 and 2.
In 4 you
Except for
did
Hitler.
because that. Well, yeah. Well,
In 2.
do we really count him as human?
Exactly.
Mm.
But,
4, yeah, you had
That's true.
4. You had end boss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but
why
you- but you
am I
do-
not
but-
spoiling him? I don't know why, but
Well, because people get pissed. Still have.
somebody will yell at me.
Spoilers.
Well, yeah, but even with him, like, even with him, you didn't ever kill him or anything, and there was no like end
No, you
game where
didn't,
you did.
And even I forget, but even 2 with Hitler, I believe. Now that I'll spoil because it's like how old?
Hitler.
Almost 20 years old, 15 or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that Hitler wasn't even Hitler; it was an alien or something like that.
I
That
say they
I
took a
didn't
page
know.
from Mega Man 2, right?
Like
Yeah.
2 had aliens. I'm like, what? No wonder you guys like did a soft reboot in 3. Not that 2 is bad. Matter of fact, speaking of adults, that was the only game. Part 2, Eternal Punishment was the only one that had all adult party.
I feel like 2 is the underrated one.
Yeah, it is.
Like 2 is the PSP one, right? That came out here in America,
Yeah.
or was that the?
Mhm.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure because my
There's 2
Persona,
2s.
my Persona 2 knowledge is still kind of limited, if only because like it's kind of weird how they did that.
Just don't
Is
play.
it-
Play
'cause
the
it's like the-
American one.
Like I don't think you can anymore because I don't think it's available for PSN anymore.
No, 1 now is only PSP version on PSN. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say don't play American PS1 one because you got the old school first person dungeons, and then you've got the all that fun localization stuff they did, like taking out a whole quest.
Localization. You gotta love it.
And changing people from Japan to America because we can't
America.
handle other countries.
I know!
Our brains can't handle their possibility of another being
I know.
set in another country.
Because that makes perfect sense.
Well, they changed that with 2. 2, I'm playing. I have 2, the PS1 version of the second 2, Eternal Punishment. Because for some reason on PSN, the two duology, the first 2 on PSN is the PSP version. The second 2 on PSN is the PS1 version. Not you can't get you can't get an English PSP version of 2. 2.
Mm.
Confused yet?
Yes, very.
Very.
Yep.
Sorry, we got all that about the gameplay out of the way. Unless you guys think there's anything else going to happen with it.
I guess we could like just transition to like simple thoughts of like what we want to see in Persona 5, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
That seems right.
So
X, what do you want to see? I feel like starting with you. You want to see more characters, or what? Or better gameplay?
I want to see better gameplay, and I know. Well, this is kind of a thing for me. Is reason I started playing Persona is because of the music. So,
Yeah.
the music has always kept me into the game. So, more gameplay, more characters, and keep the same music because please don't change it.
Did you like the music in that trailer? Or,
Yeah, I did. Actually, I didn't watch the trailer with sound. I watched the music because, work.
Hopefully you watch it with the sound. Me and Jeff kind of really like it.
I had heard that it was actually just music from Persona 4 that they just remixed in there or just reused into the trailer. That's what I had heard.
Definitely didn't hear any Persona
if that's
4
the
song in that
case,
style.
but if that's
It's
the
a
case,
good
and
remix,
that's the
then.
style that they're going, I like that style that they're going with.
It's like funk jazz disco.
It's like a jazz / funk vibe to it, and I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problems with like, I've noticed, like, over the years, like, I don't really have that much problem with video game music. Ironically enough, like like these days, like music is probably better than most games that people have interest in playing. So I don't, especially RPGs. So I have no doubts that the music is going to be good, simply because it's the same guy they're doing. If you're worried about the style, well, we'll see. I have no doubts. So
Seems like if anything, out of everything, the music will be the one that like I don't see disappointing me. Even out of the gameplay and everything. Yeah, Jeff. Well, actually, X. Any more like they said it's still going to be turn-based. Are you okay with that, or do you want more action in?
I'm cool with turn-based. It's just
I feel that there are
Speed it.
way too many. I feel there are way too many action RPGs out there.
turn-based is okay. I just wish there was a way to make things a little bit speed it up a little bit, because running into random enemies and doing okay, everybody gotta take a turn. It's like, come on, let's speed it up.
Yeah,
Well, they do have that auto battle thing in like Persona 4 Golden, so like it actually sped up the battles that you didn't even have to do anything. You just went through it very quickly.
You push triangle for rush. Yeah, and they just
Yeah.
fought.
Did not know that.
Well, clearly you have not played the Persona 4 Golden Edition.
Not yet.
That's fine. Like, well, if anything, just take heart that if that's indicative of anything, then they might have that system in Persona 5.
Me too.
I also agree with, like, when you guys mentioned the cat, parts of that game looked straight up like when the main character was in one part where he was in a cell, totally looked like Vincent from Catherine. I'm like, is this
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was.
like is it's just the same character model? Like,
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because
Well, again, it's the same engine. Like things are gonna look similar.
well, not that, but isn't both Catherine and Persona in the same universe?
I've heard it both ways, that it's another dimension and that it's in the same universe. So I don't even know.
yeah, I heard too.
Hmm.
It's connected. I don't know. It could be a different universe. It could be in the same.
Yeah, I've heard it both sides. Like the only thing is, like in Persona 3 Portable, there's a man in a bar that appears in the female route that looks suspiciously like Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be. I don't know. From what I hear, it could. They're at least in the same multiverse. If you just to borrow a popular comic book term. So.
Yeah. That's one thing. That's a crazy thing. In regards to Persona, there's a possibility of it having a multiverse.
Yeah, that is scary. But then again, this is Shin Megami Tensei, so it's all weird and backwards.
Oh
and
yeah.
Okay.
So how about you, Jeff? What do you want?
Well, I did get one thing in regards to the soundtrack so far. I can't say it, but I do like the different change of tone. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the J-pop-esque approach to the Persona soundtracks. It's been unique and good in quality too, most importantly. But I feel like with this iteration, that so far it sounds like we've gotten a different style in regards to the soundtrack so far. With that mixed vibe of funk and jazz with this soundtrack so far. It may not be the case, but I like it so far. Yeah, I really can't say because, like what Dahl said, we're kind of like shooting in the dark about what we know so far, which is very little. But what I've seen, it's like I'll go back to what I said. I'm intrigued, but I really don't care. You know what I mean? For the time being, like it could change near the game's release at the end of this year, but for now, it's just like, that's cool. I'll definitely play it. You know what I mean?
Well, we're all interested. I mean,
Exactly.
It's not like we're not interested.
Yeah.
Well, how about you, Dallo? Since you have to.
At this point, I don't really have to rush too much, but at the same time, like I said, I want to see more characters. At least give us 2 more in addition to what we've already seen, including the cat. So That's all I ask for. If we're only getting like 5, I'm going to say it's not going to be too much, but I will say, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in that regard. But then again, that's really me. The other thing on top of that is that I kind of hope that for the PS4 version, if they're going to do that they actually, number one, optimize, because I'm not going to give any developer a pass, not even Atlas.
Definitely.
I want them to optimize for the PS4 version. I'm not going to go out of my way and say update the graphics, because I'm pretty sure they're going to just up-res it. Basically, it's being encoded at 720p. I'm pretty sure it'll be at 1080p, but I'm pretty sure that the graphics are not going to be indicative of that. Because I honestly see the PS4 version just for the West.
Yeah.
Or people who the West in general, not necessarily us.
No, us.
No.
Yeah.
You saw what Nintendo did with the Wii. I mean, not the Wii.
I'm pretty sure.
New 3DS.
Oh, man.
I guess, yeah, whatever. I don't even want to talk about that. That's a whole nother argument in itself. But,
oh, yeah.
That's a future Rift Table arcade.
That will be a future Rift Table arcade.
Let's see. In terms of other things I want out of the game, I think the other thing I definitely want them to do is that I want them to not really. I don't really care about the dark stuff. Like, it's perfectly fine if they want to go dark, but try and keep the whimsiness in the series. And definitely, even though it's based on the Catherine engine, please improve the look at the very least. So, because
At least make it look like it's its own game and not just Catherine with Persona.
Yeah, basically. Even though that's asking, I realize that's asking a lot, and I'm not getting in too much because I'm asking for too much. But as far as the dungeons and everything, if you're going to do periodically generated dungeons, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just make sure the bosses are not too overly hard to actually beat. Especially, don't make your boss battles or your fighting to the point that it's unfair. And I think my last concern that I really want them to address is that make it so that have a photo mode. I think a photo mode in the game actually would benefit the game for the PS4.
Definitely, yeah.
Actually, it would, because on the Vita version of 4, I took a crap ton of screenshots, and I'm just like, I wish it was a photo mode.
Yeah. I'm the same way. So that's me making a request, or I kind of hope that they do, that they have some type of photo mode where you can basically turn off everything and just be allowed to take screenshots without having to worry about the HUD. So I guess that's all I got. I don't really have too many requests beyond that. I just again, wait and see, because currently right now I'm kind of I'll say this much, as of right now, I'm curious about it, but I've said this before, my most anticipated games are Bloodborne, Tearaway, Batman Arkham Asylum, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And and a few other games, but Persona 5 is literally not on my list of things I must play this year. I could honestly wait until late 2016 to actually get around to playing it. So, but that's currently where I stand with the series as a whole, at least in regards to Persona 5. So, yeah. So I guess I'm just waiting for the hook to come up. So, more gameplay is needed, and I look forward to the things that come out later on. Hopefully, they'll be good.
There is one thing I would like to see. Because I knew there was something I wanted to bring up, and I just realized it. I want to see in future information that we get, whether from interviews or new trailers, I want to see the clarification of what they mean exactly darker themes in this installment.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like that's something I also forgot myself. Like I said, like if you're going to go darker themes, well, like
It doesn't
what's
look like there's anything darker. You know what I mean?
well, it doesn't look any other darker than like the other personas because they were pretty dark themselves. So
Exactly.
it's like, so
First two.
what's
Yes.
well, Persona 5. Well, then again, Persona 4 was pretty light. It was probably the lightest one of the three.
It was
Or
a more tamer one, yeah.
Yeah, basically. So, but at the same time, like, what's setting you apart from in terms of dark? Because that's such a. I feel like every game says that. Oh,
It's like a broad term, yeah. It doesn't. It's like
Exactly. Like when I
even
thought
mean?
darker, I thought they would do some more like drastic stuff compared to like what they did with 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Like because 1 and 2, like it looks exactly like what we see in 5, which I'm not complaining, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, what did you mean exactly by darker? You know what I mean? Again,
Right.
I would like to see them explain themselves, like again from future interview information that we got courtesy from Famitsu recently, or from more trailers down the road. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah, that's kind of where I am. I mean, I can think of a number of things like how I would make it darker, but that would give it an NC-17 rating.
Oh yeah.
So, but we'll see. Like again, if you're actually getting to a point where you're gonna like kill humans, like in the game, or you're actually fighting humans and not just quote demons / shadows, and you're actually fighting human beings as your enemies, like that might be interesting. So
Oh yeah.
reminds me of Yu Yu Hakusho then with that if they go that route. In
yeah,
Yu Yu Hakusho, how it was like it's a shonen story, and then the third arc came around with Sensui, and they're like, we're killing you, we're fighting humans now. What the? Oh God, can we fight humans? Can we kill them?
Do it.
Yes.
I remember Sensui.
yeah. I know I've seen it. I remember it. It was like the last Yu Yu Hakusho arc I saw. So I do know what you're getting at if they go down that route of themselves. So.
Well,
I can't think of anything to talk about.
Well, I
Like,
just wanted to mention my thoughts, and then
Yeah.
Go ahead.
go right ahead, man. It's all you.
Take the mic.
So what I want to see, what I want to see with the gameplay is, I like 3 and 4, and 1 and 2. I haven't played 1. I played 2, 3, 4. I haven't played 1. I like them, but each of them had a combat system that it wasn't so fun. I didn't.
It was a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 especially.
Oh,
2
yes.
was super with its menus. You had to tell them where and how they were. Now, in 5, what I want to see is like 2, but way more streamlined. Where you can choose. Do you want to be in front with, like, instead of like where in 2, okay, you're back here, she's up there, okay, but she might go up there once she does this attack, and then she has to switch to this, like, and then like, oh wait, now I gotta push circle and tell them not to do that for their next turn because they're just gonna keep repeating it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I gotta talk to the demons in part 2, yeah, and get their cards. In 5, what I want to see is something like 2, where, and I already see this is not happening. For the trailer, it seems like it's only cosmetic, I guess. But the reason I thought of this is because they each have a firearm, they each have a blade, and I was hoping is that with like 2, you can tell them you want them close or in back, and whoever's close, they fight with their blade. Whoever's in back fights with their firearm.
Well, it could be a possibility.
It still could happen,
Yeah.
but I'm not keeping my hopes up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, true, but I agree. I think that'd be a good implementation for the combat. Yeah.
Because they all seem to have a firearm and a blade, and I'm just like, well, maybe that's one way to implement it. What I also want to see is more interesting characters.
Yeah.
Even if they're not in the party, like in 4 and 3, you could date and talk with characters that weren't in your party but still real interesting. Like, have any of you played 3? Fez?
Yep.
Yes.
You remember that girl? The manager of the athletics team?
Oh
Yes.
yes. I made it my life's mission to make sure I hooked up with her.
Yes, that's what I did too.
My life's mission.
I did not give a damn. I was like, you and I are gonna
When I
connect.
first saw her, before I was playing the game, I was like, I guess I'll go with Mitsuru or Yukari. But then I saw her, I'm like, nope, her. Her, she's the dark-skinned one, her.
Yep.
So hopefully in 5, I'm hoping to see that, okay, we're having limited party members, but can we still talk with other people? And have them count in some way for powering you up or something? Like before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is one thing I wanted to mention that I forgot that Jerry actually made me realize. Try and streamline the persona like management and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, because like I actually went out of my way to get the persona to get the Persona 4 Golden Trophy or the Platinum in the game, and that was to do it is really really damn tedious. Like it's not easy, and I had to basically use a guide to figure out like some personas basically, and I'm not exactly sure like fusing things together is the way to go anymore, because I think it's an outdated system, like just to kind of fuse things.
Oh yeah, that's a carryover from friggin' Shin Megami. That's another thing. It's cool to be more like Shin Megami, but you don't have to bring everything. You're your own series. You can streamline other stuff.
Well, you're now your own series, so
Yeah.
Well, just it comes down to basically like you're part of one series or you came from one series, but it doesn't mean you can't improve on something that you already have.
Exactly. And I hope, let's see what else, that the locations are interesting too. From what I saw, the way he walks around looks a lot better to me than 4, where it's just kind of like this overhead. Instead, it's almost like closer to the character. They look more proportional and all that. Hopefully, what I'm looking forward to, what I want to see, are mini games. Since he's in Tokyo, like Yakuza, where you could play like a random arcade game.
Yeah.
Because in 3 you could play arcade games, but you couldn't actually do anything. You just told them and it said, "You played the arcade game. You feel tired. Go to sleep."
Doesn't Japan have like some really not Akiba, but like some really famous arcade center in Japan?
Yeah.
I want to say I want to say Roppongi, but that's the red light district. So, but then again, we might go to Roppongi. God only knows.
Besides Akiba, in Osaka, there's Denden Town. There's some other arcade. I know what you're thinking of, right? It's just an arcade that's known, right?
Yeah, there's like, well, the whole idea is that like you have like big arcade tournaments out there, like at least maybe like
like Space Battle Opera.
Yeah, something like that. Like just put an arcade in there. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, they don't have to be like big old games, but just some mini games. Just because it seems to make you feel more like you're in a big city in Japan.
I think
just to immerse you more.
You know, it could be a possibility because this will be the very first Persona game that's of the Sega era of Atlas.
I think Persona 5 has been, well, yeah, you're right. It published under Sega, so yeah.
Yeah.
Sega. They're not on my good list this year.
Not mine.
That's yet another Rift Table arcade.
That's a completely different subject in itself. But you're basically asking like allow Atlas to put Sega games in there even under emulators, kind of like Yakuza.
Is that what you're asking, Jeff? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like Shenmue did.
Yeah.
Shenmue had other Sega games that you could play in arcades. That was how I first played Space Harrier.
Yes, Space Harrier.
And Hang On. And now those are my favorite arcade games. Welcome to the Fantasy Zone. Get ready.
Get ready.
God, I got the theme
we all
stuck in my
got
head.
the theme in our head. Well, that's all I got. So I'm going to throw it to you, the viewers out there. What y'all think? Or if I want to be more official, what do you guys think out there listening on YouTube? and or iTunes if we make a Rift Table Arcade podcast available on iTunes.
Big if.
I might just talk to y'all about that, just to get our reach out there more.
Again, we'll get back to you one day.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. I literally just thought of that right now. So that's why Jeff is saying that, because he's like, wait a minute, you didn't say nothing.
It's like, wait, what?
Just come up. You didn't plan this.
We did not. I just thought of it now.
Side? Yes, I am.
That's how Game Riffers is run. Just on whatever I say at that moment.
It's kind of like the current cast back in the day when you think about it too.
Oh yeah. So if you got something out there, leave a comment on YouTube or hit us up on Twitter. I guess it's where we plug.
Yep.
So if you want to talk to me on Twitter, or I'm at IKARIRADIO. You can also follow my DeviantArt, FighterXaos.deviantart.com, FighterXaos.deviantart.com. And I also have a Facebook fan page. And the Game Riffers has a Facebook fan page. The Game Riffers, all one word. Just look for it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's all I'm willing to talk about. Sure. Jeff, what do you have to plug?
Well, you can check up.
Oh, right.
You can check
Infinite. That too.
Yep. I was going to bring that up. I'm part of Broken Infinite, I write articles, especially the editorials, and you can check them out over at thebrokeninfinite.com. You can check up updates in regards to me and what my current shenanigans in regards on the internet are over at Twitter on twitter.com/16bitjeff. Also, we do also have a Twitter account for the Game Riffers.
How did I forget that?
TheGameRiffers, and a Tumblr account over at TheGameRiffers.tumblr.com. So if you want to check up the updates in regards to our channel on other means, there's your answer. That's on my end. Del, how about you?
Of course, you can check me out on Twitter. That's DOLLOWR. And of course, you can please go to Gundam.net, go to chaostheater.blogspot.com, and of course go to MHQ.net, and Mechatalk.net, which is all the forums for all those wonderful sites that I represent. So, again, my main job is to secure voice actor interviews and work behind the scenes to make other things happen business-wise. So, you won't hear me too often, but at the same time, I tend to have an impact there. So, please go check out the shows, and I hope to see you there.
X, did you already?
Oh, yeah, my turn. Oh, yeah, okay. You want to follow me on Twitter, which I barely post. I post on the Blue Moon. My Twitter is Xavier009. That's XAZAVIER009. Yeah, it's spelled different. And, oh, yeah, check out the pretty much BrokenInfinite.com, because we got good shit going on over there. And that's it for me.
All right.
That's
all we all plugged. Like I said, you guys let us know what you want. There's plenty of ways to hit any of us up. And with that, I guess I'll sign off, right? Yeah.
Very much.
For 16-bit Jeff. For Xavier009. For Dalo. Relance or Arlance?
Relance. Everybody gets it wrong. It's okay. I'm used to it now. It's Relance.
For Dalo Relance. I'm FighterXaos, here to say Nimyo. Kanyo.